I started at 6 years old.
I'm just going back and thinking, what was I doing when I was 6?
I don't think I'll be who I am without that pressure, without that stress.
Which was your biggest failure?
Being lazy has made me look for faster ways.
Coming on the cameras, it's like you can also lie. Who's going to come inside you and check it's 100% or not?
Celebrate every time you get a naysayer. You go, yeah.
Because when your people hurt you, they hurt you bad.
Yeah.
So there was a gunshot in the mall.
And I had to run. So even my children sometimes say my mom is not the same anymore, right? Because it's all about self-love.
One thing that you would like to be remembered for, and Coco Wong, after you're no more.
Lazy.
A serial entrepreneur and lazy are the two things we're going to take away from here. So here we are with another episode of Break Your Barriers, powered by Linkpreneur Stories. And guess what? Today I have someone I've been watching from distance, seeing her journey, but yet confused. What is she into? What she does? I like her energy, but yet not sure. A serial entrepreneur with 45 years of experience. And if you're wondering how exactly, that we're going to find out in the next hour, but 45 years of experience running more than 10 businesses and likes to call herself lazy and forgetful. Funny but true, that's how she is. A person who is lazy and forgetful have run successful businesses back to back in multiple countries, and I'm excited to welcome Coco Wong with me on today's episode. Hi Coco.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's just a pleasure. I think there are so many things that I want to touch upon, but I know the most curious aspect which the viewers would be having right now is 45 years. You don't look that old, so let's not credit that to your age at all. I really want you to share, which is, how come 45 years of experience running business?
Okay, so turning 51, I started at 6 years old. So basically, yeah.
I'm just going back and thinking, what was I doing when I was 6? I don't even remember that. Forget about the fact that you're talking about running a business at 6. So how was it? I mean, why? Why 6?
At 6 years old, I had the aha moment that I wanted to be a mother, like my mother, to spend time with my children as much as I wanted to. So for some reason at that age, I just thought, okay, if I needed to achieve that, first of all, I need to be my own boss. I need to have time and do things whenever I liked. But then I also realized to be my own boss, the business need to be quite successful by the time I have children. Otherwise, I'll be working at the business.
Isn't it too many things to understand at the age of 6?
Don't ask me why, but I had that thought.
Okay.
So in my mind, I was like, I have to work backwards. But at 6 years old, basically, I didn't remember this until maybe about 5 or 6 years ago when I bumped into my primary school friend in primary 1.
Okay.
And she told me that I used to make them color pictures, and then I would sell them to people. I'll take the pictures and I'll go and sell them.
Oh.
Right? And then she goes, you owe me salary. So then I thought about, oh yeah, I used to get these coloring books because one of my uncles had a stationery store, and he used to sell stacks and stacks of coloring books, right? And he would just give them to me, so cost free.
Right.
But I didn't have time to color in, so I sent it to all my friends at school. So each one colored in, and then they'll give it back to me, and I'll sell it to aunties and uncles, right? And so that was sort of like the beginning.
Okay, so that means, can you imagine? I'll just take a pause here and see the amount of business lesson. You're at 6, 45 years of experience. I would credit this definitely to your parents to have that kind of urge or that kind of visualization of wanting to do something. But before that, leveraging on the network, which is getting the books for free, and then secondly, you are having your friends in network to getting them to do it, and then just going back again to go and bring it to aunties and uncles. I think there's so much of communication, there's so much of relationships that I see here of different level with your uncle, with your friends, and then with uncles and aunties. But before that, let's come to the I think the sensitive age of 6, and you are wanting to be an entrepreneur, which is not because you want to become an entrepreneur, it's because you want to become a great mother.
Yes.
What's that? I mean, that's so fascinating.
I think because my mom and I had still have a great relationship.
Okay.
So she actually was a businesswoman.
Okay.
She gave up her business because of me when I was born, right? So I was actually very fascinated when I was young, looking through albums and seeing newspaper clipping of her business and everything. But I also enjoy every moment with her, right? So she would pick me up from school, we'll have our ritual, go to the same, even now we go to the same things, right? Because,
Really?
yeah, I still know what she likes, she would know what I want, and then we go to the same restaurants, right? So it was that bond that I felt I really wanted with my children. Okay, so at 6 years old, I love children. I've loved children all my life, right?
Okay.
Hence,
So that's why the feeling of
education.
having your own and then education into
Yeah.
the parenting space and all that.
exactly.
Okay.
So I've always loved children, even when I was very young, and I've always been very good with them. Okay, so at that age, I knew I wanted my own children, girls specifically, because I was 6 years old. I had one sister, and
Okay.
then my other sister wasn't born yet.
Okay.
But I have 2 cousins. So it's me and then my cousin 1 year younger, my sister 2 years younger, and then another cousin 1 year younger.
And then your
Yeah, so the
sister
4
came.
of us were very close. We
Okay.
lived in the same building.
Okay.
So to me, it was like, I want girls. I don't want boys. I want girls.
And you are blessed with girls,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So manifestation.
Many-
No, but anyway, so to be fair, I wanted to be like my dad as well. So my
Okay.
dad is actually a very how do I say it? Someone who puts in like 100% in everything he does.
Okay.
Right? So I wanted to be well known and
Okay.
be capable like him as well. I wanted to excel because he would show me his report cards, and it's like first and second only in the report cards. He was never anything else, right? So I guess it's a little bit of a pressure as well.
Right.
But in my mind, I only want to be first and second.
Were you able to actually do that?
Eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, not at the
bad.
beginning.
Not
But
bad.
in my mind, I wanted that as well. So whatever I wanted to do, I'm a high achiever. Yes. So even now, everything I do, I must be doing it the best of my ability.
I am actually forced to ask this question because your parents were really high achievers, right? And it did put you to a space where you started visualizing, you started really thinking and planning things, because I think that comes directly from a parenting, from an educated
Absolutely.
and also well-to-do parents.
Yeah.
Was that creating a sense of pressure on you as well? Or-
Absolutely.
It did.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the longest time, even now, I just
Okay.
came back from a trip with my parents, right?
Okay.
Every time I'm with them, I have pressure.
That you have to be your best.
I have to be my best. I have to plan everything well. So restaurants, the itinerary, it has to be perfect in my mind.
Right.
So it's actually quite tough in a way.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think so. Let's just say that it's just a very normal thing. If you're feeling the same with your parents, she feels it at the age of 51. I think we can be fine with our
Still
feelings
feel
right
it.
now, so it's okay. I think, but that kind of pressure, of course, many times we have debates that whether it's good or bad or good or bad. But okay, before I even conclude what's my feel for you, but I would ask from you, what do you feel about it? It's good or bad?
I don't think it's either good or bad. It's how you use it.
Right.
How you use that energy and how you use
Beautiful.
that. Yeah, because honestly, I don't think I'll be who I am without that pressure, without that stress.
Right.
My mom has this saying that you are not smart. If you didn't have me as a mother, you wouldn't be as smart as you are. And I think it's true because she made me do everything.
I think
Like everything.
No, I agree because she gave up her career for you. So she really invested herself in her kids to make sure that
Yep.
they are able to get in the life what they really want to. And it got you to become a serial entrepreneur. She's run more than 10 businesses into sectors like, of course, she's doing education, you've done events, you're doing jewelry, you have, I don't even remember, please. So I would let you tell a few more if you remember them. But okay, actively right now, she's a part of 5, right? Approximately.
Yeah.
So I would credit that to be a very healthy parenting, and it came down to a lot of mindset training as well, where she made sure that you're not feeling a pressure to an extent that you feel bad about it, but a pressure which can just get your creativity out, that can get your comfort zone out.
It's actually, you don't really think about it, right? Because when you have a mother and father like that, right? So my dad would be like, you have to do your best, you have to plan, think before you do, think before you speak, blah, 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 right? So all these things is preset in the brain.
Correct.
Then there's the mom, who's like very impatient. So anything you are a little bit slower, she will already scold me, right? It's like, oh, why are you taking so long? Why are you doing it this way when this way is faster? So she's always like looking for the quickest way to do things, right? So she would say, why are you doing, this has A, B, C, D, E, and then this one's just A, why don't you go this way? Think about getting people to help. So I know we were talking about cinemas, right? When you have to line up.
Yes.
So when we were young, she would say to me, can you go up to the first person and say, uncle, can you help me buy a ticket?
Right.
And I'm very shy, I'm an introvert, right, by nature. So getting me to do that is actually, oh my God, why?
Why are you putting
So I would say to my mom, why? Because you're cute. So when you're cute, you go there and you ask and people would do it, right? So I would have practice going up to people saying, uncle, can you buy me 5 tickets for the show? And literally skip the queue.
They used to do it, right?
Always do it.
I think, okay, so this is a bit controversial here, you know why? Because it doesn't seem the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, just imagine what you experienced is you first break the biggest barrier that of hesitation of wanting to speak to strangers and asking for something in return, because I think especially in Asia I have noticed people have difficulties asking. It's like it will pull them down. It's like it's not something I can do. It's not something I can really go and ask people to do something for me. It is for the lack of a better word, it's not putting me in the right position.
It's scary. Honestly, even up till now, it's scary. I don't like to do it because it's not in my nature to ask for help, because my dad has taught me to be very independent, and if you don't need help, we offer help, but we don't ask for help. And that is, I think, something that many people experience. We'd like to help people, but when we come to asking for help, we don't feel good.
We don't feel good. We just feel like, are we not sufficient enough that we can do it? But I think your mom subconsciously not only did save time and all of it, but I think more than that, she put you into situations which at that age is not something we go through most of the times, but that's maybe the personality which has made you who you are today, because you've subconsciously absorbed from both the parents.
Yes.
I think we were just talking about the fact that how our childhood plays an incredible role into building who we are today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if I have to really ask you, what's that one thing, if you go back to your childhood and you see today and you credit the success that you have right now, what's that one thing that you did in your childhood that you credited to your success today?
So being lazy has made me look for faster ways to do things.
Even your mom made you look for faster ways.
Yeah, she's always taught me that. So I guess I've been trained to look for faster ways. So in a way, I'm able to do things.
I think it's the first time I'm meeting an entrepreneur, especially a serial entrepreneur. I've heard that saying that lazy people make good solutions because they find out a way out of it. And this is my first time getting to meet someone who is that person. Definitely, I'm going to ask you for some great insights on, as an entrepreneur, what do you feel running businesses like, and especially the new business that you're going to start. I'm also excited about it. But before I get to do that, we're going to get to play a game.
Okay.
Okay. Lovely. Okay. So here we are, and we're going to play the game. So what's the game about? It is top of your mind.
Okay.
I'm going to say a word, and you're going to tell me what comes to your mind immediately, without a fraction of a thought. what is it that hits your head, the
Okay.
one word, and you're going to say it. Okay? No cheating because we have it right on the video, so it will be clear as well you're thinking or not. Okay?
Okay.
So let's do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, start. Yellow.
Clothing.
Jewelry.
Watch.
Parenting.
Me.
Coach.
Me.
Okay, you can't say me any further, right? Okay, so twice already.
Okay.
No more of me.
Okay.
Malaysia.
Food.
Hong Kong.
I was gonna say food again. Okay. Home.
UK.
Where I was born.
Movies.
3 Idiots.
It's an Indian movie. Okay. Okay. The next thing is business.
Wedding.
Women.
Empowerment.
As a parent.
What do you mean?
Parent.
My children.
Journey.
Tough.
Passion.
Food.
Money.
Don't care.
Fortune.
I will make.
Fame.
Don't need.
Purpose.
A lot.
Day.
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 Wake up happy.
Night.
Sleep well.
Peace.
Black.
Black.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Beauty.
Within. Is-
Events.
Love them.
Brands.
Man, so.
Your daughters.
My life.
Parents.
My life too.
Love.
Very important.
Life.
You only get it once.
And Coco Wong.
Lazy.
Oh shit, nothing could have been better than Damn, okay. I get it. It's this episode, I don't know, a serial entrepreneur and lazy are the two things we're gonna take away from here. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. You did so well. So well. Was it difficult?
Yeah.
I think my favorite was beauty inside. I think that I really loved it. Not something I was expecting at all.
Really.
Coming back to, of course, your journey, I think that's so exciting. And being a serial entrepreneur, I want to know, which was your biggest failure? I mean, which business did you fail really bad?
I think it's the business that I first started in Malaysia. That was the one that I failed.
Okay.
I failed because it was more of a relationship fail. So it was a betrayal by someone I trusted. So it wasn't, I guess it was. I'm debating whether it's a business decision fail or not.
Okay.
But I think it was more of a trust fail.
Okay. More than a business failure.
Yeah, so the business itself was actually taken off and was running very well and profitable. But it was just relationship with the partner who just took it.
Right.
So it was more of a betrayal and reading the wrong signs, right? Or not reading the signs actually.
What is more painful, Coco? Is it more painful when you are not successful at a business and you had to close it down, or really getting betrayed and your trust broken by someone?
Definitely the betrayal. So for me, I guess when we were playing the game and you said money and I said I don't really care.
Yeah, that expression was really different. Okay, what was in your head? Let's get it. What was in your head?
I think in my mind is money is important, right? Okay, don't get me wrong, it's important. But I don't care how much I have. As long as I have enough to do things I want and I have enough for my girls, I think I'm okay. I don't need to be a multi-billionaire or something.
I don't know why, Coco, I don't agree with the fact that I don't care doesn't mean I don't want it. It's just that it doesn't impact myself, where I am and how I am. It doesn't define me. It is a byproduct of things that I do, but it's not something that I live for or an I
Yeah. So for me, it used to be very important.
Okay.
So when I started off, I had a job. So I saved up with my job, and I
Okay.
told my parents I want to leave my job, right? They totally disagreed. It's like one of the rare moments that my parents say no. But I argued my way through.
How old were they? How old were you?
This was 28.
Okay, please.
Yeah, something around that.
Okay.
So
In Hong Kong.
in Hong Kong. So I had a very good job. I was going places in that career.
Okay.
But like I said, from 6 years old, I wanted my own business, right? So
Right.
I knew that I had to save up because my parents.
It's just the capital money that you're making with that job.
Yeah. So I didn't want to rely on parents.
Makes
I
sense.
didn't want to rely on their money.
Mhm.
So I said to myself, I'm going to make my own. I'm going to build that capital, and as soon as I hit that number,
Right.
I'm coming out.
Correct.
To do my own thing. So I hit it, and I decided I was going to do it, right? So at that moment, my parents were no. Why would you leave, right? You have such a good job. Your bosses love you. You are.
You're growing in your business, in
Yeah,
your job.
yeah,
as
my
well.
job.
Yes.
Yeah. But inside, there was no satisfaction. So, but I need the money.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So when I first came out and started my business, for the first 3 years, I had zero business.
Okay.
So, so in my head, it's like, oh my God, my saving is not
Not
much
much
left. And my parents are like looking at me, why are you in bed? Like, I'm lazy, I'm in bed all the time, so there's nothing to do. So in my head, I was like, I have to make money, I have to make money. So I did want a lot of money. So I worked extra hard to find that money, right? And I did. So
But your parents finally agreed for you to leave the job.
yeah, well, they had no choice because I said to them, if I didn't make it, I can always go back. I was still
Right.
young,
Correct.
right? I still have all my credentials.
At least you don't live with the regret of.
Yeah.
I think that's. I really want to tell you that this is so much I relate with personally, because when I started Beyond 99, I had a lot of rejection coming in from a lot of people, like as a woman you can't do it, or it's as a country
Yeah.
being new you can't do it. I only said this to myself that I can always go back to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I do not want to live with regret by the time I'm maybe 35 and I say, oh, I didn't do it when I could do it.
Yes.
And I think that's a...
25.
Yes. Because that feeling is so bad. It's just exactly the comparison of losing to run your business to losing to someone you love to run your business, which is betrayal.
Yeah.
That's way more painful than this.
Yeah.
Because when your people hurt you, they hurt you bad.
Yes.
They hurt you bad.
Yes.
I want to ask you, okay, because you said Malaysia and you've been 4 years in Malaysia, earlier to that since you were in Hong Kong, it's a very recent failure that you've been in your life, right? And it's not a failure running a business, it is really a relationship failure like you framed it. How do you feel about it now, and how was it when this happened?
I think now I'm more 80% recovered. Back then, which was not long ago, actually, about six months, just over 6 months ago, it was bad. It was bad. I think.
And what is bad? I really
Bad
don't know.
means that I couldn't get out of bed.
How long was that?
I was lucky in a way because my husband and my daughters were there to push me out of bed.
Okay.
But given the choice, I would just have stayed there for a long, long time. Because I'm someone who is very emotional. I'm very attached. I mean, my relationship with mom, my relationship with my daughters, it's always about relationship for me, right? So anyone I make friends with, I'm like
You committed.
I'm very committed. I'm very
Wow.
loyal. I'm very dedicated. Okay, usually.
People want people like you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I
So.
mean, at least like people like me who wants to do this.
So actually it's very hard for me to recover. So even when I was young, breaking up with boyfriends and all that, it's
It used to
tough.
take time.
It
It used to
it's
take
tough. So this one was a big hit. And because I turned 50 last year, right? That magic number was like, oh my God.
And at that kind of time, you're getting betrayed in the business, in the relationship. It questions a lot of
And you feel very stupid that at 50 years old you still get this, right?
Wow.
So it was like, oh my God, and I didn't, but luckily I had work lined up that I needed to do, that I
Correct.
needed to wake up to, or at least get out of bed, for, right?
Yes.
And I had my girls that I need to take care
care.
of, right? So I had duties that I could not shy away. I was lucky my parents flew over
To be with
to
you.
be with me. They even said, do they need to go and speak to that person?
Still there for you.
So it was like you're surrounded by people, but there were also people I didn't know who suddenly came into my life to help me as well, right?
It's like universe have it set
Yes,
for you.
yes. So I do believe that I'm thankful for this to happen. So it's a bit weird, but I'm thankful she betrayed me in a way, because I had people who I really didn't know well, and she texted me, "Can I give you a call now?" And I went, "Why?" Right? But I said yes, okay. Then he said, "Give me 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you a story." And then he told me how he was betrayed in his business. I didn't even tell him I was betrayed. He just called and said, "Can I share it?"
Oh my God.
And he told me, and then I went, yeah, I'm going to get over this. No, you have to go and I'm going to forget about it. No, you have to go and thank her for raising you higher. That was exactly what he said to me.
Wow.
And I was like, how does he even know through IG
Correct.
that I
You're
was
going through something.
He knew I was going through something because I posted a little bit.
Okay.
Usually I do single words when I'm sad, right? So I just do it very. But he felt enough to call me and to tell me his story and say, you know what, 10 years on, I'm way better than this guy. And he's still there. So imagine 10 years on, you're way higher.
Wow.
She has cut off the string so you can fly off, and she's still there. So that was
gave
like
a little bit of sense of
yeah. So I'm very thankful that these people just suddenly appeared in my life, and I do believe that the universe has it planned that without that cutting off, I probably wouldn't be who I am now, right? Because 6 months ago, I'm not who I am today, for sure.
I'll take a pause here, and I really want to highlight a few things. Like, for example, we go through betrayals ourselves, we fail at businesses, and just trying to understand that a business failure is a less painful thing than as compared to a failure in relationship plus related to business together. So if you have failed in business, let's just say, then do remember that it's still not that painful and you can come out of it, right? I really want our viewers to take this as an inspiration and a moment that someone who has run 10 businesses can also face a downfall in life, which may not be an absolute business downfall, which it could be, it would be, or whatever it is, but losing a bond and at the cost of also letting go the business and stuff, it is a huge thing to let go and still come out of it. She's sitting fine, she's happy, she's so much more healthier, she's so much more liberated to say. So if anything is happening in your life, I want you guys to be really knowing that it's taking you to the next
Level.
Yeah.
So
It's just happening for a reason, and you have it all sorted. But there is something which is very important. Most of the people, because they do not understand the power of the universe and they try to control a lot of things around them, they might be situations where there are people who say, "Can I call you?" And they're like, "No, you can't, I'm not in the right state." Or they're like, "Okay, you should do this," but they're like, "I am going to still stick to my bed." The difference between you and maybe the most of the people is where you chose to open doors for some unknown territories and let it trust the process, let it really go as it's happening and not really shut it saying that, "No, I do not want it," because maybe it's an unknown territory. Because after going through betrayal, half of the times we lose trust on the entire world, including someone who we don't know. So I want to applaud you, and I really want all of us to take this, that life doesn't end, it still keeps going. And I know where I am today is because of my naysayers and people who stood by me and said I could never do it. So if they wouldn't have said it, trust me, I think I may not have had the same amount of zeal inside me as I had at that point of time.
And actually, you know what? It's the naysayers that actually build us, right? We should celebrate every time you get a naysayer. You go, "Yay!"
Yeah, thank you for being
Thank you.
one.
Yes, because the thing is, they come into your life for a reason, and they come in there to tell you what you're not, right?
Right.
But the more they tell you you're not, the more you need to be that even more, right? So sometimes even another friend said, oh, do you want to be in the same room as this person, right?
Yeah.
Are you, honestly, I'm afraid. The
Correct.
first time we actually met each other again, I was like crying in the afternoon thinking, oh my God, tonight is like,
It's the night, yeah.
it's scary. But when I feel that I need to show her how much better I am now, that is where you get the comeback, right? That's the revenge.
It's like, okay, I've gathered myself, I'm not still sulking, and I'm really over it, and I'm...
Yeah, and actually each of these, I mean, in what I think about is whenever I hit these, of course you get emotional and it's scary and it's not a good thing.
Correct.
However, we can always turn it into something good for ourselves, right? We learn.
Like how?
So like this thing, right? I got out of bed. I started. My husband said, "You have to go out." Why? I cancelled all my appointments.
Right.
Okay, I cancelled all my.
Most of us
everything.
would do that.
Yeah. So I didn't want to see anyone because I couldn't control my tears. Right, so I cancelled. I said, no, I don't want to do this. But my husband said, what good is it that you're lying here and crying? She doesn't know, right? It's not going to hurt her, but it's still hurting you more and more and more, right? So in a way, a lot of the times I feel we play victim.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When something happens, we play victim.
Correct.
Why did they do this to me? Oh my God, I'm so sad. Oh my God, I'm hurt, right? So, but the moment you decide that you're not going to be the victim, you're going to be the warrior now. So taking this and going out even more, it actually helps you because you embrace the energy, have movement. So for me, a lot of it I do credit to my exercise because I never exercise. I mean, for 50 years of my life, I'm like zero exercise person.
But last 5 months you would have done...
Yes, I think I did.
Just covered the last 50 years.
Yeah, so I'm finding myself weird looking at gym clothes and videos.
How does it feel different?
It does feel different because I mean the first few days very tough. First 7 days or even 10 days it's like, oh, kill me, right?
Yeah.
But now I feel that because of the movement, it made me positive.
I'll take a pause here. There are two things here. You just mentioned about not only the health aspect, but you also mentioned that you've gone through your own sad moments and then you wanted to keep crying, and then of course your husband inspired you to just get up and go. There's no point, you're killing your days, right? All of us go through this. So if you are going through this, she did go through this, I did go through this. It doesn't mean that you're someone special and not gifted. It just means that you're living your life and how you're going to take it forward. Yeah. So playing that victim mindset to a warrior mindset is the biggest win. How long are you going to keep yourself there? And there are people who have kept themselves there for ages, like for years and years and years. So let today be a moment where you genuinely, if at all, still feel a victim to something that happened 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or 5 days ago. Let's take that warrior mindset and really go out and try to fight it. Because today it's 80%, right? What you said. 80%. And I'm so happy that you're not. See, when coming on the cameras, it's like you can also lie. Who's going to come inside you and check it's 100% or not? Because it just puts you in a vulnerable space. But I think I applaud your courage to come forward and accept that.
Makes us real.
Right.
So to block it, I don't think is healthy. I think let it out. But let
block
it
out. Oh, yeah.
Do not block it.
Not block it.
So let it out, but embrace that. Embrace what it brings to you, right? Embrace that feeling, because the stronger the feeling, the stronger you will come out. That's how I feel.
I think I agree, and I think once you accept it, you don't block it, then you are having that mindset to even come out of it, because inside it just becomes like a volcano, which one day will surely erupt, either on our health or on our mental health, or maybe someone else who is close to us.
Absolutely.
And the second aspect that you said about is the fitness aspect. A person who has not hit the gym for 50 years have decided to hit the gym. I think I see it like a golden, not a silver lining.
I'm still big, so imagine I was bigger.
And I don't want to take it like a silver lining. It's a golden lining because nothing is above fitness or health, right? I want you to say something to inspire those women who are still sulking or are still saying, yeah, I would, or okay, I do enough of moving around my life. that I don't need to go to gym. You know, this is one of the excuses that we say too often, that okay, I'm already walking too much to hit the gym. So what do you want to tell to them?
Okay, so I'm no fitness guru or anything, but
And that's the reason I'm asking you.
But the thing that I mean, if you follow my social media, you'll find a post that I recently did of how I looked before and now, okay? Like I said, I'm not fit now, but I'm way fitter. So in my mind I used to be the one who only trains the mind.
Right.
Okay, I really don't care about the physical body a lot, because I was the smart one, not the pretty
Not
one,
the pretty
right?
one, yeah.
So I didn't need this, I needed this, right? So that was how I trained. So to me, the secret to how I've been able to sustain, which is like everyone's like, really? Is I don't go to the gym, I don't have a personal trainer, and if you ask me how long I do my exercises, I started with 10 minutes a day. That's it.
Okay.
10 minutes, because anything that is more than 15
It's
in my
too much.
mind is like, oh, I can't do that, right? So I go to YouTube and I look, it's 30 minutes, forget it. 20, it's too long. So I look for like 10 to 15.
Okay,
And I just
give
do
me a
it.
high five. I will take out workout from YouTube, and it says 7 minutes muscle workout, 7 minutes ab workout, 7 minutes tummy workout, and I'm like, okay, this is something I'm interested in. Don't give me 30 minutes
Yeah.
one. I can't.
Exactly. So first of all, don't set yourself up to fail, because if I set myself 1 hour, go to the gym, it would never happen.
Yes.
So I just did like, sometimes I'm like in my nightgown, just put on bra and just do it, right? 10 minutes, that was how I started. Second tip is to find something you enjoy. So I started in November. So I was like, oh, I have to do it. So it was a struggle. Then came near Christmas. I realized there were a lot of Christmas songs workout. Okay?
Oh.
I love Christmas songs. So
it just
I
got you
started, so I was like, oh, this is actually okay, because I could sing along to these songs, right? And I was, okay. And then I was thinking, after Christmas, does anyone ever do Christmas exercise after Christmas? It's a bit dumb,
Yeah.
but who cares? So I continued until I found some new songs which I liked. So I just carry on. And I think a month ago, the music video that I was doing, they came out with a new one. So I was like, yay! I don't think I've ever been excited about an exercise, but they came out with a new one. With the
new music and new moves and everything else.
Because I was getting a bit bored, and honestly, because I am fitter now. So
I
it
know
wasn't,
because I have seen
yeah,
you.
so
and
it
you're
wasn't
way more
enough.
fitter.
The 10 minutes wasn't enough anymore. 15 minutes wasn't enough, even 30 minutes. So now I can do 45 minutes to 1 hour.
But it was a journey from 10 minutes to 45
so
minutes.
now it's like you feel I need a little bit more. Right. So
because you're inspired to do that.
Exactly.
You can see that change in the body.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is to not really look for the perfect gym wear, perfect gym gadgets, and hit the gym subscription. It really just starts from your home. I mean, just your phone and the home. And that's what happened with me as well.
And be okay to look stupid, because I would dance, and my girls when they're there, it's like,
but I get
go down a little bit, and I'm like, oh, shut up. Just let me.
You need a lot of courage to do that, because you have people in there like judging you. And
and I don't have mirrors at all.
Okay.
No mirrors anywhere, so I'm just facing. I know I'm probably doing all the wrong things. Doesn't look, but as long as I'm moving,
it just helps you.
And now I feel good, because recently my daughters have a sports day.
Okay.
And I ran in the parents' race, right?
Okay,
and so
this running
really
got me to another running story. I think because running in the Parents' Day is not that big a thing, but I really want to know, when exactly was the moment where you actually felt that you should work on your body? I know we were talking about it, and running just got me into that space. That when was that moment when you had that realization that you can't be playing with your body anymore, and not just be the smartest, but also the healthy one?
Okay, so from my betrayal, I couldn't get out of bed.
Right.
Then a friend said to me, "You're not fit.
Right.
So you need to be fit in order to go and fight."
Correct.
Right. So that was sort of like, oh yeah, okay. Then came the moment when I went to Thailand, and there was a gun shooting in the shopping mall where I was, and I just couldn't run to save my life. Literally couldn't run to save my life. Right. because I was so slow.
So there was a gunshot in the mall,
And I had to run.
to save oneself.
But I couldn't because I was so slow. And in my head, I was like, I'm so unfit. Oh my God, I really am unfit. I'm going to die because I'm so unfit. So in that headspace, I could hear myself talking to myself whilst I was running. And then
I'm thinking, what would other people think if they had gunshots and they're running?
Honestly, it's a weird moment, but I was running and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm really so unfit. If only I was fitter, right? I could run faster.
What is that one learning that you have had in your journey where you would like to inspire all the women that are watching that put too much pressure on themselves to make sure that they are the best version of themselves into everything, which actually screws their own health, which probably makes them feel deprived of even self-love most of the time. So what do you have to say for them?
I would say that as a woman, we try to be a perfect superwoman.
Okay.
Especially when I turned a mom, like my dream, right?
Yes.
That was the moment when I was like switched on. Perfect mom, perfect superwoman. I have to be good at business, like you said, good at
Right.
everything, right? But I think at the end of the day, we just have to realize that we are human. The number one thing we need to take care of is ourselves. So this is something I learned after my betrayal. I've never really looked after myself.
So when did you have your first child?
I had her
Ah.
16 years ago, right?
So, and your betrayal was last year. So let's just take 15 years. You still...
Yeah, so for all majority of my life, 50 years of my life,
Correct.
I've always been brought up in the sense to serve, right? Like I served my mom because
Right.
she trained me to do things.
Correct.
I have to be good to serve my teachers, to serve my elders, right? So then my children
The
came.
goody one.
Yeah. I had to do everything as
It should be, yes.
And with someone who feels that the ability is there, you have to do even better, right? So it's
Right.
always been that, but I've never really taken care of myself, telling people what I want or what I don't want. So I've never said no to things. My mom will say things and I'll always say yes to her, even though I don't want to do it, right? So I've never really set boundaries. But now, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I've started to draw lines around me. These are the
How do you
boundaries.
feel different? Okay, because I really want to share it with our viewers here that having those boundaries and letting people decide for you that okay, you need to do this good, and we try to be that person. We're not like, okay, if you said it, it's fine, never mind, I'm just going to ignore it. We actually follow it and we actually try to put our soul into it to get that through. So right now, when you're giving time to yourself, investing a bit of self-love and doing things, whether it's for your health or for your mind, so how does it feel different from those years?
It feels very unnatural.
Okay.
It feels very weird.
Okay.
Actually, I don't like it a lot because when you say no to people, you feel you have to give excuse why, right? A reason. So even my children sometimes say my mom is not the same anymore, right? Because she's all about self-love. She's putting herself first. Sometimes they say that, but I know they mean well. But it's just sometimes when people say that, you feel very guilty.
Correct.
Right? So it's really not easy. I still struggle a lot, but I do feel good when I have my own time. When I want to do things that I like, right? More. When I put myself first, because so now I disagree that how you do one thing is how you do everything, because we have different degrees of passion and
invested interest.
So you would do something better if you have more invested interest, right? So for me, I'm never invested in myself, so that's why I never really cared about my looks.
If you had to choose between the two state of being, which is one where you were not caring about yourself and where you're caring about yourself, which one would you keep doing it?
Now,
Now.
definitely the caring about myself.
So you feel that's where you should be.
Yes, because honestly, even though it feels weird and it doesn't feel right,
Right.
even now it doesn't feel right. I think on the long run, being this self will benefit my people around me more
Beautiful.
than me just giving everyone.
Because no empty glass can pour other glasses.
Yeah. So actually, one thing I learned early in life is when I was working, one of my clients, I told him all my dreams, right? I have like millions of dreams. And then he said, imagine you are a bucket of wax, right? And you are a candle. So with one thing, you can burn for a long, long time. But if you use that candle and pour it out into 100 candles, they will all burn out very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was very visually strong in me. So now at the beginning, I thought it was about focusing.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
But now I actually think it's about me. That bucket is me. I've been pouring my wax to other people and actually spreading myself thin. I should put it all in me, because when I burn bright, I can shine for everyone.
I don't even have to pour it.
Exactly.
It will automatically give the light.
Exactly. So I feel that analogy has changed because I have changed. Because at that point it was like, I need to focus on one business only, do one thing. But I couldn't, right? So all this time, I've been struggling with this candle and wax thing in my head. But now I understand that actually the candle and the wax is me. So that I can shine the longest time, the brightest,
and
to help everyone around
and
me.
illuminate everybody around.
Yes, so I feel
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, we spoke so much about your personal journey and how it has been. I would love to hear a little bit of your serial entrepreneur side, right?
Okay.
There was a failure and you came out of it. Of course,
Many, not just one, many.
Okay, so yes, that happens. Yes, it's not always like bright and shiny. And it is so natural for everyone to have that. So please do not stop if you're failing. Just keep going.
Yes.
But in this journey where you saw successes, where you saw failures and all of it, what were your top 3 learnings from 45 years of entrepreneurship as you started at 6? And I would also consider that by the age where you were mid-20s or early 20s, where you officiated with your events business, which was more like getting into the whole thing. So even that journey, so everything put together, what would be your 3 takeaways that you would share with an audiences?
Number 1 would definitely be the network.
Okay.
So without a network, actually it's very slow. Everything is quite on a standstill. So one thing I remember when I was young, when I was in my 20s about to start business, my dad was like, okay, I can introduce you to all these, not introduce you, but I can give a call to all these aunties and uncles who know you, right?
Right.
And get you a job there or deals, right?
Correct.
But I remember saying to him, I don't need any of that. People can make it on their own and so can I, right? And how stupid was that? Absolutely stupid, okay? If you have a network, if you have people, go, because it will accelerate your journey way faster.
You didn't choose that path, let's just understand. But yeah, now you know that you should have done that.
Yes, and honestly, coming to Malaysia, it's been 4 years, right?
Right.
And I've been so blessed with such a huge, strong network that I've built here.
Okay.
And I think it was because now I'm open to meeting people and knowing, and actually it's a skill. I'm an introvert, like I said, right? I don't like going out. I don't like meeting people. I'm not good at socializing at all. So anyone out there who thinks, oh, I'm actually very shy, I don't know what to say, that's totally me. I go to networking events for the food.
Okay, that's what she wants to at least tell herself to motivate to get out of the room and go grab the keys, drive.
Yes, exactly. But
so find your motivation. Now let's go to the next thing, which is
the next thing for me is creativity.
Okay.
So I always believe in. I'm someone who likes to create.
Right.
Hence, I have so many businesses, because whenever I can't find a solution or I can't find that product or service, I create it. I decide I'm not going to sit here and wait for someone to do it. I'm just going to start
myself.
Yeah. So I think creativity is something that was not inborn. Because I remember when I was working, my superior actually gave me a comment, she's not creative.
Did that play a role into getting you to be creative?
No, absolutely not. It was like not creative enough, right? So looking back, I was like laughing because creativity, and actually she put time management and creativity.
Okay.
These are the 2 things that I'm known for. I'm very good
So,
at time
I mean,
management and I'm very good at creativity. And so it's like, okay, maybe she did either she was blind
Yeah.
or I wasn't really that good then.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Could be any of it.
Exactly. So I'm not going to say she was blind.
This
so
is
it's
so
like,
true, right? Life comes back to us in that way.
yeah, it's funny.
So creativity, because creativity, when you say creativity, so just dissect it. It is more on opening up your mindset, on trying new things and thinking things differently.
Being open to new things, especially I think go as an educator, going forward with AI and everything.
Right.
What differentiates human a lot more is the creativity.
Right.
It's how we can mold things together.
Correct.
From this and merge it to become something else. And I am part of Mensa Society, which is the higher IQ people, right?
Right.
So I was fascinated of what's high IQ mean. So high IQ actually just means that you are able to learn very fast and learn very deep. So either we go very deep or we go very wide.
That's
right?
T, right?
Yeah. So for me, I'm the wide type.
Okay.
So I learn about everything. But it's also not just about learning. It's about being able to take this and putting it together to create something else, right?
Interesting.
So I feel that as a human, that is something that is very hard to replicate because with AI, there's still a formula somewhere.
There is, of course, there's a math to the whole
Yes.
thing. Yes.
Yes. So with humans, we can be very
And that is why
theoretical.
it's one of the quality that
That-
we should be agile, radical.
Absolutely.
Yes, which is creative.
creativity is born from boredom.
I agree, and because I can't be bored as a person, I mean, I'm a person who probably don't know how to sit without anything. I mean, that's a different level of a problem for some other day, but it's time to really ignite their creativity. Of course, the networking, I damn agree with it, because networking is the one place where I think my life changed completely. I mean, of course, LinkedIn was a platform which got me into networking, but that is where the whole 360-degree happened.
Yeah.
So let's hear the third one now.
The third one would be go with the flow.
Okay.
Because honestly, I've had so many businesses, but none of them is really by design.
Like a business plan and something.
Except, okay, rephrase. The first one, when I did my events,
yeah.
I did put out a business plan for myself.
Okay.
But it was still going with the flow. Because why I say that is, my first ever business was events planning.
Right.
Okay. I did that because when I was young and we had the classified ads.
Yeah.
Right? So don't ask me why, but I love reading classified ads.
Okay.
Okay. As a young
I'm not gonna
child,
ask you.
everything that catalogs and things that come through the mail, I love reading them.
Okay.
And one of the things that fascinated me was party planning. There was
Interesting.
one ad at the bottom page, on the left-hand side always, as a party planner. It's like, I can bring balloons, cakes, blah, 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 blah. And I went, what a fun job that is, like planning birthday parties and parties. And I've always been like fascinated with that. I wish I still have that piece of paper. But that was what I thought, wow. Then because my mom loves to entertain at home, so all the parties at home, I would actually be part of, and I was quite good at planning them, and I was very good at visual stuff. So I would put the flowers out, I would do the table setting and everything. I love to be like the perfect host, right? So I love that. So I did events, but when I got to wedding, so I figured out I couldn't do events because my first business was before my job.
Okay.
And it was
Got it.
it was very successful, but I was very young, right? And actually people were challenging me. Were like, oh, you look so young. Do you really know? So I put on glasses and think, oh, I look younger than I am. It's like so very dumb, but literally.
No, it's not dumb. I have done that. I bought glasses which makes me look older, because I started and I was too young, right? 25, 24
Exactly.
and all of that, and people are not looking at you like you know nothing and you've come out of your school. So I bought glasses which were like literally big black glasses, so we just made yeah. And I used to tie a bun to just make sure that I can add 2-3 years to
Same. So I did that a lot, but I felt that I didn't like working with corporates.
Okay.
On events because it was all like very like budget and they didn't really want to do the event. Okay, put it this way. Usually it's set this team, you must do this event. So it's not
It's all
like,
very fixed and
So then I thought, what event? So I went back, her parties, like birthdays. And I said, birthday parties. So you can't really make much money out of it.
So that's why wedding.
No. Then my best friend got married. And he was planning his wedding. He was calling me and said, oh my God, I have to do this. And I said, oh my God, I was in the bank, right? I can come out and help you and I can do all this, right? So I started to help my friends plan their weddings.
That's why I trust the process, go with the flow.
Yes, exactly. And then I thought, why not I do weddings, right? And as a specialized event, and there was no such person. So I just did that.
So in Hong Kong, you started it, which is your
I was the first one, right?
Planner.
And hence I said for 3 years I had no business because no one understood.
I'll tell you a secret, I mean, as a kid growing up, I had a dream of becoming a wedding planner. I mean, never got fulfilled and I never got into events and stuff. But yes, it's always been a very fascinating and exciting space. But coming back to the point number 3 is go with the flow, because overthinking has become one of the vicious things that we always have of our head, which is stopping us to do so much. And thank you Coco for sharing all 3 of them. I think being in business myself, I'm picking up so much. And even if we know a certain thing, when we hear it from someone who've done it and have done it well, and even failed, it's not been a silver or a bed of roses for you. It just gives us more validation. We're going on.
So I want to give you this visual for the flow, because this is something that helps me a lot. So imagine you're in a river and the river is flowing one way, right? If you're holding onto a stone, you will never flow. Even no matter how hard the river is going, you're holding on, you will never flow. That's why you need to let go in order to flow, right? So going with the flow also means letting go of stuff.
Yeah, that's true, because you're moving forward and you're leaving things behind.
Exactly. So you need to be comfortable to know that the river is going to take you further, and you have to let go of your stone.
So powerful. So powerful. I think one secret that very, very, very few people know about Coco Wong.
I love to sleep.
No, now
everyone knows.
So this cannot be the secret. What could be the next thing?
One secret is I'm actually quite childish.
I know that one, I know it, but now you also know it. She's like 51, but I can tell you she's 15, not even sweet 16. It's just getting there. Okay, what is that one thing that you would like to be remembered for or remembered as after you're no more?
I think being a kind person.
Nice. Okay, you did fabulous, and that was amazing. Now that we've almost got to the end, I really want to reflect back on one thing that I promised, which is the aspect of mentorship, coaching. How much does that play a role? Because you have had great parenting done, and you yourself are a parenting coach. You are someone who provides education. So of course it would come at like a shameless plug, like you mentioned for your husband, but I do not want to frame it in that manner, because if you're not having gifted parents, can we go out and get help? If you're not having gifted bosses, can we go out and get help? If you're not having gifted spouse, can we go out and get help? So the question is how important it is to have that mindset that you have resources available, but are you really keeping your eyes open for it? Do you believe in mentorship and coaching?
I absolutely 1000% believe in that, because it's not about the cost, right? So I've had mentors who are paid a lot for, but I've also had mentors or coaches or even just friends give me the best advice I've ever had, right?
Both ways.
So you can find it on YouTube, you can find it on Reels. If you need that, you have to be open to absorb it, because if we keep blocking and saying, I don't need this, I know this already. So the worst thing is I know this, because you can listen to the same thing thousands of times and it never impacts you. And you can listen to something that you only listen once with whole heart and be open to it and have it impact you, right?
Yes.
So being open, and it's not a cost related thing. is actually being yourself, being open to learning. So that's that thing about learn, unlearn, and relearn, right?
Correct.
We have to keep unlearning and relearning because we never know what we don't know. So unless you keep keeping that curiosity and finding people to help you, it will shortcut our way and propel us much faster when you have people to help you. So I was someone who didn't believe in coaches and mentors because I was someone who thought I was self-sufficient. I'm smart, I can read books, why do I need someone? Right? They probably don't know my field.
Correct.
All these things we go,
yes,
how do they know my situation?
Yes.
You were there, you did this, you were lucky, blah, 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 right? But if we are open, these people will have experience. They're not going to be 100% match. But if you take 10% from here, 10% from here, you find 10 people, you got your 100%.
Damn.
Right? So find people who has experiences and draw from them. What it's not copying, it's more like how do you adapt what they have shared with you to yourself. So that is how I feel absolutely a must.
As we're getting to the end, it doesn't end without me asking you, which is, it is about breaking our barriers, right? And the whole idea of the show is not only empowering the women, but the whole ecosystem out there. So I want to know, with all your journey of 51 years as a person, and then a large portion of your life running as an entrepreneur, running different kind of businesses, what was one of the biggest barriers that you had, and how did you break that?
I think the biggest barrier would definitely be the start of my journey.
Okay.
Like when I had to leave the bank to start
going
my
from
business.
employment to
That was,
entrepreneurship.
I think that is also one of the biggest one with the majority of people going from.
Correct, absolutely, because they're scared that do I leave the stable salary that comes every month to something which is unpredictable and uncertain.
And to me, it takes courage. And I remember I was the first one out of my whole, because we were management trainees, so there was a lot of us.
Oh, okay.
Right? But I was the first one who literally did that. And my friends were like, oh my God, we can't with because of all these reasons, right? But in my head, I just thought it does take courage, and it's scary. Honestly, it's scary. But I feel that you have to give yourself that opportunity, that chance to prove to yourself whether you can or not. It doesn't, if you cannot, it doesn't mean you failed. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone, honestly. Sometimes I also think, if only I was still at the bank, maybe I would already be at the top, managing the whole region or whatever. But would I trade it? No. So it is really about making that decision, and I would like to leave it as there is no wrong decision. There's only a decision where you made at that time that is leading you to the next one and the next one. So there's never a right or wrong. It's just
keep moving forward.
Just keep moving. Yeah.
I think, and the part where you mentioned about really going out and doing it, making it happen for yourself without just going forward, and it is the barrier where a lot of people get stuck, that I don't want to do it because I lose the safety. I personally feel that it just gets difficult with age as well, because kids grow up and then you have more responsibility. So if you feel it today, it's just going to get more difficult tomorrow. So just go do it.
Yeah. Do it as soon as you can. Trust me, because when you have so many different baggages.
And yes, so many times we feel like we were better off there. Why are we doing what we're doing? But I think if ever I will think about certain portion of my life where I was like, okay, this was better off. But would I trade? No, not for anything. I want to be where I am right now, and I would just be exactly where I am.
Because you never know the other choice, what it might have brought you. Maybe worse, right?
Yes.
Maybe better.
It's just so that we psychologically we are trained to think the grass is greener on the other side, right?
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much, Coco Wong, for giving so much of value. I think as a person, knowing you not what your Instagram, not what your LinkedIn or platforms talk about.
I'm
but
very bad at those.